Dang. Huh. Well, if y'all don't recognize this, this here is the first project on the channel. The one that was fondly nicknamed Project Blue Meanie. And you know, we had pretty much done a full overhaul on this truck. I mean, pretty much. I mean, it was just getting the head put on it, you know, and a head gasket and a new set of studs. And then that snowballed into a new piston and rods and getting a cylinder honed, new rod bearings. And while all that was taking place, the owner got a little bored and, you know, decided to get on Amazon and the Face Space and all those other fancy websites. And before I knew it, I had a pile of parts that, you know, fill up a tractor trailer. We ended up putting intercoolers on it, transmission coolers, radiators. I mean, it just, you know, the whole truck got worked up. You know, we had to refurbish the oil pan because it was all rusty, you know. Didn't replace that one, just, you know, gave her a buff down and a good shoot of rust oil. But, you know, and had to do a grid heater delete on it, stuff like that, because the new head, the old intake wouldn't line up on it, so we had to modify the factory one to fit on the new head, and just a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, had to put a new injector in it, because while the old one might have been just fine to come out of the hole that had the, you know, valve failure, we were a mite bit concerned that it might give us trouble on down the road, so we went ahead and just popped in a new one. Pretty much, long story short, this thing fought me forever. Did not want to live. Nothing lined up, nothing worked right. Had to grind on rocker arm pedestals, had to do the whole 9 yards. I mean, this thing just got worked up, worked back down, worked up again, fell over, leaned this way, leaned that way, picked back up, fell over again, and finally we got it stood up straight. And now, it's back in here. This is not what you want to wake up to. You know, I had a pretty empty schedule for today. And then, you know, I walk in the shop, and what do we have here? Man, I just, you know, this is why you don't get family members keys to the door. Then they just mosey shit right on in here. And you ain't got no say about it. Oh well. I guess I ain't seen a note anywhere. I mean, didn't call and leave me no messages, didn't send me nothing on the Face Space, so I guess we're just gonna have to figure out what we're doing here for ourselves. I guess get the hood open, you know, maybe, possibly. Let's see. Table, huh? Oh! Well, would you look at that? I was so distracted with what might be, I didn't notice what is. Well, hot dog. All right. I guess we're gonna have us a little parts unboxing then. This should explain what's happening. I just hope it ain't too scary. The big box. Ooh, that one's got gravity and a lot of it. Not good. Save that one for last. It's scary. It says Mishimoto. Ooh, I got a little bit of gravity to it, ain't gonna lie. All right, so we'll open up the Mishimoto. Well, we'll do the little ones first. We'll start with the baggie first. Or do I want to do the baggie first? Maybe I want to do this one first. Uh-oh. 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 I know. Y'all don't know? I know. That box just told me 1,000 wonders. All right. We'll do those after we do the Mishimoto, because those answer too many questions. see here. Put down the blade, sir. Oh, and you know, nice packaging as always. I mean, at least for a bunch of clamps and boots and stuff, I mean, good packaging, can't go wrong with that. Got some nice big Mishimoto clamps, and I already know from previous installs on here that the Mishimoto boots and clamps, you know, they are pretty good. Let's see, we got a whole box of just clamps and boots. And, ooh, look at that big boy. Yeah, there's from the turbo to the intercooler pipe. Okay. I think I'm starting to devolve what we're going on here. He got some new intercooler pipes. This will be the cold side pipe from the intercooler up to the intake horn. Probably won't use this. I think the BD one, I think it's like 5 inch at this end, so we probably won't use this one because, you know, the BD is a big boy. But you know what? That means I'll have sitting on the shelf for somebody a Mishimoto code side pipe. This is gonna be the hot side pipe, I reckon. Yeah, I do, I reckon. And I wonder how that works. I mean, this boot right here looks about the same length as the factory one, roughly, just, you know, a lot more girth. So, because the factory one, you know, it comes out and has a nice little S bend in it. This one ain't got no S bend in it. It's very straight. That might fight us. I guess we will find out when we get theirs. All right, well, we just got, you know, we got a bunch of nice boots. And we got all the clamps. So this is just a Mishimoto intercooler pipe kit. That's what this is. And if there's anything missing or we don't have something, I will surely let y'all know when it's going on the truck. All right, next on the chopping block, this one. That one right there is gonna tell too many answers, and I don't know what this one is, so this one might not tell as many answers. Oh, it's sticky. Get off me, just ah! Not in my floor, it's clean. Get out of there. And just sweep this whole floor, and then you're gonna do some silliness like that. All right, let's see, is there anything up here? Oh, sharp. Oh my God, everybody. It's what I've always wanted. A bag in a bag. So exciting. Not real sure. They didn't get too aggressive. Well, I know what that is just because I know, plus I know what's in there. So everything is starting to add up. You see, everything is starting to add up here. So let's get out this here. And see, that was packaged well. That was good for what that is. Let's get this open. See if y'all can draw any conclusions as to what's going on here. You probably can by the title of the video, but you know, I just don't want to have any spoilers. All right, let's see. Got some bolts in a little baggie. Well, that's nice. Oh, we got a koozie. Yep. Right there come in handy for cold snacks. This is wrapped up good, and let's see what else we got in here. We got us a fleece card of sorts, innovating diesel performance. For installation instructions, y'all can scan that QR code right there. Yes, you can. Got us a nice Fleece Performance Engineering sticker. That is a nice sticker. All right, let's see what's wrapped up in here. Oh boy. Do y'all know what that's for? Come on, somebody out there's got to know what that is. Alrighty, I'm gonna set all this over here. I ain't giving away no spoilers just yet. Nope. It's all gonna come together here in a minute. You just wait and see. Now, see, I have come to the conclusion what is in that said box over there. If y'all have not. But I don't know what degree of what is in that box. So, might get a little spicy. Gravity, gravity, gravity. My back. Ooh, it's a thing. You know what? I'm probably going to end up packing this back over that table. I should have just opened it over there. Stupid! Anywho. Oh, that was a clean cut. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now that was a clean cut. Oh. And it has a very nice packet taping job. And there's a core on what is in here. Oh, a core. But you know, I'm actually surprised at the lack of damage done to the box. This one actually made it through shipping quite well. It even had staples in it too underneath all that tape. They really didn't want this bad boy to come open. Uh-oh. What is it? Uh-oh. Oh. 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 Yeah. Would you just look at it? I mean, uh-oh. We got us another cold snack holder. Oh, we got all kinds of stuff in here. Let's see, inside of our cold snack holder. Oh, what is that? What is in here? That is a return form. Do not lose that. Dummy. Oh, we got some studs and some oh, we got the gaskets. Yeah, I was so worried. Those gaskets you have to replace every time. Okay, so we got gaskets. That makes me happy. All right, we gotta get this big juicy fella out of here. I can't. I can't leave it in here. I can't do it. Oh. Yes. That fleece tag. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hey, this one unplugs from here. I don't think the factory does that. As a matter of fact, I'm almost certain the factory don't do that. It's integrated into it. Huh. Well, alrighty then. That's different. Oh man. We'll have to buff that off, get the paint off of it. We don't want nothing making this bad boy not seal. Oh, oofta. Oofta May. Oofta! Okay, y'all want to get down in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, get out of the box. Shiny. Shiny is scary. Oh, look at that. Can y'all see that? Got little fleece symbols on the turbine blades. Well, compressor blades. I'd say turbine. Yeah, nice casting. Well, I don't know if this is a factory casting and they rework it. I'm not 100% sure how fleece goes about it, but man, oh man. Box, I'm gonna sit you on the floor for a little bit. Get on down here. Oh yeah. Good looking unit. Let's see. That's where this comes into play. This right here is a speed sensor. A shaft speed sensor for the turba. That's where that comes into play. That's the oil inlet. That's the coolant inlet. Right there is the exhaust inlet. That's where all the heat goes in and makes fun whistly noises. Alright. Ooh, look at that fleece serial number tag. That just ain't fancy. This whole thing's fancy, I ain't gonna lie. This whole thing is fancy. Oh yeah. Oil drain, coolant drain. Bits of the table, I do believe. Be alright, that won't hurt a thing. Oh yeah. That is nice. What we appear to have here is a 63mm Fleece Cheetah turba. That is nice. 63mm Fleece Cheetah. That's gonna make all the whooshy spoolie noises. Gonna make that check engine light go away too. Gotcha. All right, well, I'm gonna get all this packaging stuff back in the box because we got the return slip that we got to use, and then the factory turbo we'll put back in here and we'll package it up just like that one came. That way it makes it safely back to Fleece so they can build somebody else one of these bad units. We got you. All right, I'm gonna relocate this stuff over here to the parts table. Let's get this thing up in the air, get that tire off, get the hood open, and let's assess what we're gonna have to do to get in there and get this turbo off. Here, jacked up, we got some lightage, we got some tire missingage, and just a quick overview. But I would say the average Joe doing this in his driveway could probably get away with the intake, battery box, exhaust clamp, hoses that are attached to it. I'd say you could probably get away with that getting this off. But for me, for sake of the video and filming and being able to get y'all in there and just a little ease on my part, I'm gonna take off the intake, inner fender, battery box. I'm even gonna pull the shock and the shock tower. I'm gonna pull this pipe here. Oh Lord, wrong button. Quit doing that. Anyway, I'm gonna get this right here as open as I possibly can. I'm gonna get this whole area as open as I possibly can. That way we can really get in there and see what we're doing. And Lord, who knows? Might bring the turbo out this way with all that off. We'll just have to wait and see, really, but yep. And this gives us a good time to give everything an inspection, see what's going on with it, See, I've put a few miles on it now and see what's happening with it. I am happy to report, from what I saw so far, we don't even have any leaks. So that is a good thing. Yep, the oil pan ain't leaking, transmission don't appear to be leaking. Didn't see no leaks up front. That is what a fella likes to hear. All right, I'm gonna get it tore down to, I'm gonna get the battery box out, inner fender, intake, stuff like that, so we can get a better eye on what's gotta happen in here, and then I'll pick back up with y'all. Real quick PSA, something I forgot to mention. You will have to drain the coolant system because of the coolant lines that go to the turbo. And the one coolant line that's on the turbo, it goes right to the bottom of the block almost. So unfortunately, if you were in the situation, if you haven't done a coolant flush or put new coolant in a while, then you probably need to do this anyway. You probably need new coolant in yours anyway. So get your old coolant out, put in some fresh. The truck will love it. It'll be happy. Best thing that ever happened to it. But in our case, the coolant that was already in this thing was pretty good. And then we had to drain it because the truck was broke down. Well, the coolant was brand new. It had like 500 miles on it. We had to drain it because the truck broke. And then it's full now. It's good to go. And we'll have to drain it again. So I'm going to try and recover all of this coolant and reuse it. So I gotta get my drain bucket really clean so we can do a good recovery of this coolant, because that stuff's expensive and there ain't no sense for him to buy. See what we just put in this? I think it was like 3 gallons of concentrate that we used. Yeah, it was like 3-4 gallons of concentrate we used to fill this system back up. So that gets expensive, especially because we use that, you know, we use that good stuff. We use that red stuff, you know. We use that long life, that industrial heavy duty. We use the good coolant in here. So that's just wanted to throw that in there because I didn't mention it a second ago. You will have to drain your coolant system to do this job. All right, now I'm gonna get all that done. I'll get back with y'all. Okay, quick update. We've got the cold air intake off, the battery out, the battery box. Got the hot side charge pipe out. All of it was pretty simple, pretty straightforward on this one because we just had most of that out, you know, a month ago. And now on the battery box, there's you know, the 4 bolts up top, obviously. Then there's 3 10 mils that come up from the bottom. They go in through the fender well to the bottom of the battery box. You will have to take the fender well out. You have to take those 3 out and then take the entire fender well out to access. Oh, where is a light when you need one? To access that bolt and that bolt right there. That one there and that one. Those also hold in the battery box, but you have to get out the inner fender liner before you can get to those. But I'm just giving that warning out, so in case, you know, you take out these 4 bolts and then you go underneath and you look at the 3 and they go up to the fender liner that you can obviously tell go up into the bottom of the battery box. If you get those out and then it still don't move, and then get agitated and you're just all over here, you know, trying to yank it out. Don't want you to break it or cause yourself more headache in the future. And then as far as the shock goes, I just unbolted the bottom of it and then just unbolted the top of the shock tower and just brought it out on the shock. That's pretty simple. You know, it's 2 15 millimeter nuts. Just, did I say 2? 3 15 millimeter nuts. You just undo them and then the top's undone. And then it's got that bolt that you have to access through that hole there, which you can do with 21 mil and an extension. Throw the impact to her. You don't have to worry about the nut because it is a, I don't know if I can get y'all in there to look at it. It is a captured nut design, so you don't have to actually get a hold of the nut. The nut will stay in place. And you know, I had to take a punch and run it through a hole on this side here. Like there was a hole back up in there. I just had to take a punch, run it through there to knock the bolt out. But you know, getting the shock out, pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Everything came off really simple. Didn't fight me. Now I'm gonna see about getting, now let's see here. All right, I just need to undo that hose, take off, well, undo the 2 plugs here, and then there's the drain down on the bottom, and then this hose here. The $1 million question is, how do I want to go about it? The easiest way to do it, I believe, is to take that motor mount off. If I can easily get it out of there. And that is, you know, that's the if. Because the other side, I could easily get the motor mount out. I don't know how easily I can get this one out. But with that heat shield right there that's made onto the motor mount, it's almost impossible to get to that bottom water line fitting. So I might just sit here and stare at this for a minute while I come up with my generic game plan and how I want to go about it. But I do think I'm gonna have to take off the motor mount, you know, without damaging that heat shield. I mean, I could definitely fold that heat shield back out of my way and get to the bolts I need to do. I just would prefer not to do that. So yeah, let me stare at it for a few minutes and I'll get back with y'all. Okay, update. After staring at it for approximately 2.3 seconds, I come to the immediate conclusion that this guy right here behind said, come on. I was just gonna yank off that engine mount. Instead of having any tomfoolery or fiddling around, I just go ahead and get it out of my way. It only took a few minutes. There's no good way to get, like this top bolt here, you can get a power tool too. The other three, you can't really get power tools to them. So it's just a matter of getting out your longest 15mm box end wrench and going to town. Now in my case, I was lucky. I already had that off, so the threads were cleaned up, and you know, it wouldn't, you know, the bolts wasn't like rusted in there, so I didn't have to fight with them all the way out. Like pretty much as soon as I got them broke loose, I could reach up there and just, you know, and just hand thread them all right out. I'm lucky in that aspect. That's just because the engine was just out and I just had that engine mount took off of the engine. That's not going to be the same case for everybody. But with some tomfoolery, and you know, as long as you have the means, you know, if you got a cherry picker, anything, if you have the means, because you have to pick the engine up just about as far as you can pick this thing up. There ain't, oh, let me see if I can retrieve y'all some light. I'll just get a different light. Yep, I am using just about every bit of available space to get this up and out of there. The exhaust is firmly on the firewall down there. So yeah, with a little bit of patience and a whole lot of tomfoolery, you can get the engine up and the engine mount out. And that is honestly probably gonna be your easiest way to get this turbo off now. Now all I gotta do is get that exhaust V-band off, unhook those two fittings right there, undo those two plugs, and then there's two, you know, and then you have said turbo, oh, let's see here. You have said turbo drain down and one water fitting behind it, and they are easy to get to now with that engine mount out of the way. Once those 4 connections are undone, and honestly I might not even do the turbo drain down because I just put that in. So again, where I'm lucky, I'm pretty sure I can take the 4 bolts off the flange here, push the turbo down enough to then just pull it out with the turbo drain down still attached to the turbo, because it shouldn't be seized in the block because it's a brand new drain down tip. We just put that one on there. So again, I'm lucky in that aspect, and just look at all that. Ugh. Yeah, see, that's why the drill tube needs to drill, you know, anywhere but in the intake, because, you know, it makes the turbo ugly. But yeah. All right, I'll catch back up with y'all once I am pulling this bad boy out of here. Alrighty then. I got this bad boy ready to just drop off. It's literally just hanging on by the studs. I ain't gonna lie to you. It takes a little bit of fiddling. And myself, I mean, maybe this front one here, you might, maybe you might be able to get an actual, you know, socket on there and some sorts of, you know, ugga-dugga action. But I wasn't able to. So these bolts up here are mainly all wrench work. There's gonna be a lot of fiddling, a little bit of the hee-hawing, and definitely a lot of the cussing. But, you know, if you just hang on, I mean, just hang on, some patience, you know, just a little bit of patience and work with it. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I mean, this one down here, a regular 15 mil wrench, you can get it right off, like the angle works for the turbo. Then the two front ones here, they're not that bad to get to. The worst one is this one that's back here in the back that you can't even see. I mean, it's, you know, it's back there. Like, I mean, I don't even know if y'all can see it or not. But, you know, oh Lord, adjust light. See, there's one back chonder, that back corner one. Now that one's a bear, and that one will absolutely test your patience. But with everything out of the way, and I also pulled the bolt right there out of that water line bracket. You get that out of there, it'll give you some mobility on this here to help kind of work it around to do what you need to do in there. That's it. Just a little bit of patience. It's only 4 bolts up there and a band clamp down there. If you have a truck with a lot of miles on it, like 100,000 or so, that band clamp, that V-band for the exhaust there, you're more than likely, because the kit, let's see, yeah, I'm almost positive that kit didn't come with it. So you better buy that V-band clamp, because, you know, ours is new. Ours is shiny. And that's because our stock one, we broke the bolt on it because it was seized up. So, and a lot of these Cummins would say you get a lot of heat cycles on them, a lot of miles. That is, anytime I've had to pull the exhaust off the turbo or whatever, those right there, I don't know how many of them I've broke. So just be prepared for that. Buy you one of those. But man, so we got lucky. Ours is new, so that wasn't a big problem getting that off at all. You know, it came right off. Just have a little patience. Everything will come off. So it's 4 bolts up here. You take the bolt out of that, give you a little wiggle room. And now y'all get to watch the struggle bus of me trying to get this big old fat thing out of this hole here without completely destroying my back. And what I'm hoping is that V-band clamp on the back of the turbo that goes to the snout, I'm hoping I can get that free. Because if not, might not be able to get that today. And see, that's poor planning on our part for not getting that, because I think it's a 3 or a 4-inch V-band. But yeah, we'll see when we get there. Let's see if I can't throw out my back trying to get this thing out of here. Oh, oofta, 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 swafta. Oh, don't drop it on the fender. Yep. Oh. Man, thing's light. Barely even knew I was packing anything, really. Yep. They just don't build them like they used to. Junk 10. Yep, here is my big scare. If'n we can or can't get this clamp here off. Oofta. We might have to do some blasting and superheating. Ooh. Spritz a little WD-40 on there now. I'm just gonna go ahead and get out the torch and, you know, my little map gaps gas torch. I ain't gonna get out the big boy, but I'm gonna start throwing heat to that, because I just already know that thing's probably gonna break. But luckily, let's see. And see, I wish this one had the removable T-bolt like this one. See, this one here's got the T-bolt that you can drop in and out just like that. You know, just chinka chinka, chinka chinka. You know, easy peasy lemon squeezy. But this one unfortunately is not made like that. But I mean, if I do break it, I do have, I mean, we've got T-bolts laying everywhere. So as long as I just break the T-bolt, I can get another one in there. I might have to do a little spreadage and a little squeegeage back together. Even if I got a welded in there solid, I can get another T-bolt in there. So I start playing with this, and with any luck, I can get it off. Woo, dang, these map gases ain't no joke. I can't get my socket on it. Oh, thank you, sweet baby Jesus. Woo, hallelujah. Ha ha. Thank you, map gas. Mwah. Little WD-40 and a little map gas. Right there, bring the world undone. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now. That makes me happy. Lord, y'all don't understand how happy that makes me. Now I ain't gonna quench it, because if I quench it, I'll super harden all that and make it brittle. I don't want to do it, and I already did enough quench, because I did like 2 heat cycles in the quench and try and get that WD-40 in there and break it loose. And you hear it didn't even have to impact. It just come right off. Oh, man. Hallelujah. That makes me happy. All right, I'm going to give that like 3.5 weeks to cool off, and then we'll come back and assess the situation. Oh, makes me happy. Y'all have no idea. Something's missing. I am still ecstatic that that come loose. Oh yeah, beautiful thing. I mean, yes, we do have welders, we do have grinders, we do have other clamps. I could make a new T-boat if need be. I'm just glad that I didn't need to. Just saves me some headache, saves me some time. And that's a win in my book. Now, let's see if we can get it off. Oh, that side broke right loose. Aha! Oh! Man, we got so many wins today. A loss is definitely heading our way. Ring-a-ding-ding. Got a little dowel pin right there. That is a little fella. You know how easy it'd be to break that little thing off this cast? Too easy. Now let's see if I need to grind it off or this housing has it. Because I don't, like I said, I don't know exactly what all they change on these. I don't know how much of it is original turbo. But we do indeed, outside all this stuff on here, have a dowel pin hole. So that is classy. All right, I'll probably send this on a little trip through the wire wheel, and then we will get it put on there and get that off. Let's see here. I think the only thing we have to get off of this turbo is this fitting here. I don't believe we need anything else other than that fitting. So yep, that fitting right there and this snout is all you need to switch over from your factory turbo to a 63mm Cheetah from Fleece Performance Engineering. All right, let's get this buffed up and get it on that one. Factory turbo is professionally packaged. It's in there. I swear it is. I promise it's in there. It's professionally packaged and handled just the way that they want it. That form there is to be filled out by the person that actually ordered the turbo, which is the owner. So I'm just gonna leave that in the box and temporarily close it up. And then he can take it and do what he needs to do with his core. Oh, shoot, dang. That bad boy just goes right on there, don't it? Okay. There we go. I'm gonna buff the paint off this. And then we're gonna install this bad boy. This bad unit is ready to go in. All right, we just need to get this drain back tube out. Now I do like the factory ones. Like I think they're good quality and all that stuff. But the owner done bought that big old fancy fleece one, so we're gonna put it in. But there is nothing wrong with the factory drain back tube. So don't let anybody fool you on that. Especially seeing as how that's a brand new one. I just don't know if this silicone will be as durable as that metal one. But I'd say for sure we're about to find out. Well, at least in a few years we'll know anyway. Ooh, like a glove. All right, get it twisted out of the way. Now, see if we can get that new turbo in here without throwing our backs completely out. There. Shoe dang, shoe dang. Whoa. My arms need to be about 300% longer. Rest easy. Rest easy. Don't scratch the paint on the new turbo. Here we go. All right. I might need to get over here and in here because I got the truck a little too high, so I'm having severe reach issues. Might be some poor camera angles here for a minute. At least while I get this thing started anyway. All right, I am literally in the belly of the beast right now. Get that nut there ready and waiting. Put a turbo on, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Well, I don't know who they are. They're a bunch of liars. Ugh. Oh. Oh. Lord, I sound like a dying walrus. If, one could imagine what a dying walrus sounds like. All right, do I have any wrenches that fit this handy? No. No, I don't. Because I'm an idiot. It's all right. I'll just do it by hand. Okay, nobody panic. And on these studs, they got a kind of flat end and a taper end. I installed the taper end as the, the outward end, the exterior end. And I'm not sure if that's how they meant for it to be done, but that's how I did it, and that's how it worked out. So y'all might want to do it that way. Completely up to you, though. It worked for us. What works for me might not work for you. Don't forget to anti-seize your bolts now. Them and you will appreciate it later. There we go. Pump full of that good 1540. Won't be no dry starts now. Alright, just get the fitting in there. we can button it up. Getting closer and closer. Harness on. Got all the feed lines from the coolant and the oil. Got the drain lines for the coolant and the oil. It's bolted up tight. I found another coolant leak. That plug that's, let's see if I can get the light good. That plug that's right there, it was leaking. So that officially ends my relationship with this Permatex thread sealant with PTFE, because not only did I prep the surface really good, like I mean I cleaned everything, you know, the plug and the head, you know, I cleaned out the threads good, wire brushed it, you know, brake cleaned it, did the whole spiel. Not only did it do that, I put the thread sealant on the block side, on the head side of it. I put it in the threads, and I put the thread sealant on the plug, and then I put it together. So it had thread sealant on both surfaces, and then it had like, Lord, I don't know, 3 or 4 days to cure before it ever even saw antifreeze. So it should have been cured, and that's 2 leaks now. That's 2 leaks that I found using that stuff. And I hope the rest of them don't start leaking, because, well, that would just upset me. Which, I mean, you know, I guess if this front plug here starts leaking, or this big plug down here underneath the thermostat that I put in starts leaking, I guess those 2 wouldn't be the end of the world. But there's 2 plugs on the back of the head, and I mean on the back. Like, whoop, down there in that dark, deep cavern back in there. There's 2 plugs back there that have it on it. And if they start leaking, I really don't know if I could get them out to seal them. Not with the transmission in it anyway. If we take out the transmission, I think I could get to them to fix them. Yeah, let's just hope that doesn't happen. So I am officially back to my mega tape. That stuff has never let me down. It's what fixed the other leaking fitting, which was this one right here. It fixed it, so yeah, that thread sealant there, I don't think I'll be going back to that Permatex anymore. But anywho, all the hoses are on, turbo's bolted on. I'm about, you know, the engine mount's on, it's tight. I'm about ready to set the motor back down so I can put the actual frame, you know, bolt up the frame engine mount. You know, that bolt, the bolt that goes from the engine mount to the frame. Wow, I can't English today. But anyway, so I can get that in, and oh good Lord, I'm the absolute worst with light. Work with me, y'all. That heat shield there for that engine mount, I did have to bend it down because it was up on the turbo and the drain tube really hard, and like the edge of it where it curls up, the edge was right into the drain tube, and that would, I mean, that would just, it would just eat through that eventually. So I had to fold that down a little bit, had to do some massaging on it. But other than that, I mean, it's all straightforward. You know, I got the bolt back in the water line there, and we're working our way through it. Like I said, I'm gonna set the engine down now, put in that tighten up that engine mount bolt, put the clamp on the exhaust, and then start working my way through the rest of it. From the hot side pipe to the intake to the battery box, fender wheel, all this stuff. Get all this put back on, and I'll catch back up with y'all in a little bit. Woo, dang. Look at that. Ain't that just party? Yeah, it is. Yep. All we gotta do now is throw the cold air intake back on it. Get the tire on it, put the coolant in it, and she's ready to pop off. So the tire will actually probably be the last thing. I'm probably gonna get the cold air intake pop back on here, get the coolant in it. You know, because right now the radiator cap is definitely the highest point with the truck kind of torqued up like this, so be easy to bleed out. And probably do the first start with it sitting right here just like this. Then while it's warming up, we'll get that tire put on, then we'll back it out the door. Get back with y'all in just a few minutes. Woo dang! Look at it. Would you just look at it? Let's get in there and look at it. Good Lord. It's shiny. Shiny, scary. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Do you like it?
Looks good to me.
I don't like it. It's too shiny. Good thing it's not my truck. It'd totally break down as soon as it pulled out the door. Warranty.
None?
500 miles or 5 foot, whichever comes first. It's all buttoned up. It's back together. I mean, you know, we got all the coolant in it. And I went over the truck to check and make sure that everything was fine, you know, just as a once over. And the only thing I found was that one plug back here in the back that was leaking. And, you know, I pulled it out and I put some of that mega tape on it. It was another one of those plugs that had that Permatex thread sealer on it. This crap here, which I am, you know, officially done with, because, you know, if the 2 plugs on the back of the head start leaking that have it on it, I'm gonna be sick to my stomach, because that's gonna be a real chore to get in there and get those out and reseal those. But, you know, it is what it is, I guess. Try and do things right and use all the expensive fancy stuff, and it comes back and bites you when the best stuff in the world is mega tape here. You get it at Lowe's for like $2. As far as I can tell, it's ready to start. What do you think about it?
Well, let's fire it up.
Oh, we're about to get a cold start. When you start it, back it on out. Oofda. Oh, it's making the noises. Throw on the kicker if it's working. Oh yeah. She's howling. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to sound when you turn on the kicker. Good deal. So I guess there ain't a check engine light anymore.
No.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. Got a little burn off. Well, we're gonna let it get up to operating temperature. Let the thermostats open up and get all the air out of it. And then we'll get back with you once we get it warmed up. All right, we got it up to temperature, as much air out of it as we can get out of it for now. We're gonna go on a little test drive, make sure it's doing all the things it's supposed to do. And if it is, we're gonna send it home. helicoptering. Oh, 35. Oh, got a big 40 on the boost there.
That was a 200-degree temperature drop in EGTs.
200 degrees less than normal.
Than what it was the other day.
That's a good deal right there. What was the EGTs? I was just looking at the boost.
1200.
They only hit 1200. That's not bad. I mean, it wasn't a long pull, but for the truck to be turned all the way up and only to hit 1200, especially at 40 pounds of boost. Yeah. Yeah, she don't smoke a whole lot. This truck's got a real clean tune, but it runs good. That was completely the speed limit and did it real quick. Was you watching the EGT on that one?
Yep.
What did it hit? 1300 at 40 pounds of boost. And
Barely making the speed limit on the interstate.
yep, just barely. In Texas.
In Texas.
Yeah, but so you think between the exhaust manifold, the turbo, and the head, and all the other, let's see, all the Mishimoto stuff we put on, you think it all that dropped your EGTs pretty good?
A bunch.
That's what we're here to do.
A bunch.
Well, I can't wait to hear how it tows. So you're gonna have to go hook it to something and play. All right, let's get all the stuff gathered up and get you out of here. Oh yeah, that thing sounds good. Can't be mad about that. That truck is running good. Other than a possibility of maybe a coolant leak or two, old Project Blue Meanie I think is wrapped up and actually happy for a little while. That makes me happy. Because we've been fighting that truck for a while, and I think he's got his daily driver back. That's something to be happy about right there. But as y'all know, it's time to clean up and close up. We had a good day today, got a lot accomplished. I had fun. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a comment below, a like, a dislike. And thank y'all for joining me on this adventure today. Y'all have a good one.